Hello everyone and welcome back to another analysis video of Valorant. If you just want to talk about it, today's analysis is going to be how and what Sentinels actually did in altogether Sen versus Vikings scenario. I mean, just think about it. Just think about the start that was going on and think about the way the match shifted off with its momentum. No one could have expected, right, the way the match was going to go that fast. If we talk about, let's say, first Icebox, all right, we get it. It was a normal start, the normal moving up forward. Then Haven all starts up obviously with the rounds that pistols just govern for themselves, the early pistol rounds, and in that tends just getting and doing the best that he does, and obviously Shazam as well. So these two players, I would say, are going to be there for a long time when we talk about it. And hey, I mean, N is predictable, right? Well, if you guys are new out here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like to this video, and do let me know your thoughts down below about if N is predictable or not. So let's just actually begin this video right now. So if you guys don't know how this analysis series works, right, when we talk about the analysis of the game altogether and what goes through the mind, there are four pillars of the game that I just take in consideration when we talk about analysis. In the previous video as well, when we were talking about it, I told you about those four pillars. It's going to be aim, sound, credits, and abilities that just go down. And aim obviously comes down to the raw aim, the raw mechanical skill that you just bring for your own self, that maybe through your mouse, that maybe through the way you're just positioning yourself and everything. Then sound just comes down in the rounds, like suppose there are players that are going to be just moving through a shift walk, a light walk, and then obviously moving up forward, those things. Credits comes down to the hard eco rounds, the forced buy rounds, or something like that, the rounds that just get you the best, but are they optimized for your gameplay? And if you're just maybe not picking up any abilities, that's where the fourth one comes on, the abilities, the ability pickups and the ability usages that you should be doing when we talk about the fights. Now if we talk about the icebox, I would say Sentinels obviously, had read the mind of Vikings as for what was going on, how they were playing, the picks and everything. Because in that one, if I just talk about it, Tens obviously was playing Jet in this one, but in the previous one he was playing Reyna altogether. And then Shazam obviously just picking up Icebox and just trying to go with those operator shots. Some of them did connect, the early ones did not connect, so that was his own matter of ups and downs. Well, a brilliant Cypher player. When we talk about Haven, we saw him getting those 4Ks in the previous match of Sentinels, as well as if you guys remember, that match was a treat to watch, and this one, it was fast to watch. Well, this altogether happened, but now just have a look at as to what was happening. Look at this. Players trying to spot each other. This is where the game sense and sound sense comes down, and the raw aim, as we're just looking forward to it. This is where you aim, you spot down the player, and this is where the fight and the skirmish just altogether is just happening. So you guys, if you're looking forward to a site, to take the control of the site, you will always look forward to one thing, and that is how well can you mark an execution to get in. Like, let me just relate it, right? How well can you get in onto the site to get the information, and how well do you get approached out from the site? This is not the C long, obviously. This is the back side. If we talk about the spawn sides. So if we're talking about something that's C long, that's kind of longer area, and obviously that's where if you're moving in, you just have one slight area to just get a hold on. But this is where you have a lot of areas to look forward to. Once this, and maybe if there's a backstep, then there's another area onto the backside. Well, that was not happening though. That was not happening. But this and this. So in order to just look forward, you will be going with a flash, and that happened. We saw that happening. So those kind of things kind of just matter. And then picks, it comes down to your raw aim. That raw aim obviously is what Sentinels have, and they always deliver it. That's one thing that we saw. But now, moving forward to the upcoming rounds, I mean, it's obviously the Sentinel supremacy that was just going on, back and forth every round. And this is just the replay, as you just see. All right, that's weird. Well, now, again, another round. You know how they're going to be just placing themselves and playing themselves. Plus, if you're just looking forward to it, in the early stages, in the early rounds, in the early fights, the players are getting those orbs for themselves, so that they can just get a good utility usage alongside their ultimates to be ready as soon as they can happen. We saw one important round, and that would be the double Astra ult round. Let me just talk about that. Now this becomes an important round to just talk about, because this is where Sentinels kind of stopped up their momentum. No doubt they were getting those picks, they were getting those things, but this is where Vikings almost just started picking themselves up. Well, they already had won one round, but winning the game, it was kind of a different story, a long story that did not obviously get into its own execution well. But look at this right now. Where the abilities are and how are they being used. C site is where the players did go for the plant, but right now the cluster was forming around the A side with minor utilities onto the mid, minor players just moving on to the mid, and obviously the C side, that's where the entry can also happen. But now look at this, how it just gets played through. Right now the players, they know they have to start Sentinels on the back sides, and Vikings just as they want to move forward, they want to plant as soon as they can. They need to, right? They need to, because the main execution, if you just look forward, the main execution that Sentinels was doing was in their favor is every round they were taking down the players, not even letting them plant. This round, you can see, this is where the time constraint happened. They were not letting them plant, just taking them down. Like every round is what was happening. So the plant thing, like the spike was not getting planted. That kind of creates one thing. You just need one side out of three. You need one side out of three. It can be A, it can be B, it can be C. You need to have the control. And once you plant, you need to play it post-plant as well, so that your opponents, they don't retake it, even if they give you the site in advance, that just this site is open, go for it. There were many moments, like right now you see, obviously around the B side, not exactly on the B side, around the B side we can see one player, but this site is there. But again, the stars that were dropped, the openings that were being consumed, that's how if we talk about it, the teams and the players who were playing. Now look at this is where the round starts. Tense. Well, he spots someone. Next time that player will be waiting for another round. That's how good he is. Obviously, if he spots someone, if he has an operator, he will take the player down, and next time again the player would be going for another round. Now this is where it gets interesting. Let's just use it on to a 0.5. Look at this. Spotting techniques and how do you play with them. There's an Odin. Remember this. There's an Odin. There are Vandals. There are other things. Like good stuff altogether. But now, if we just talk about it, the players are coming. They know, Vikings know that they might not have much time left if the players just start entering onto the round, so they'll have to just go for a plant or something of that sorts. This is where you just read the area. Everyone makes up their entry. The one entry happened from the long side, that's where one is, and then there are two players as well. One has a spike, obviously needs to plant, and if you want to play post plant, what would you do? If Astra has the ult, Astra would be using it. Astra would be using the ult in order to just play around the spike, in order to not let the opponents defuse the spike, in order to have that element of surprise even after they have given all the tactics. Like there's that fight of the last breath that was going on as far into this situation, so they had to give everything out. That happens right now. Look at this. As soon as obviously the cage was triggered, the cage goes down. This is where the spotting is happening. The one player goes down, even though with the Odin. One Astra uses everything, and that's from Sentinels right now. So Sentinels Astra goes like this. As you can see, Sentinels Astra goes like this. But then the other one obviously has to go onto a different direction. Like obviously the direction changes because the spike is just around the corner here. So that's just how it should be. Like it's being dropped, but look at this. This becomes interesting at this moment. This becomes interesting. Sick is moving up forward. He knows that this comes down to the raw game sense of understanding. If Astra's ult is here, that means the spike should be around the Radiant box. Obviously, it should be around the Radiant box. Spots the spike planter, takes him down. He almost took the other one. Almost comes down to a big word. Takes one, spots one, and there's the ult. So what he does, The Flash moves forward. Now Astra's location's compromised as well. He knows that Astra is going to be there. So what he does is just drops down, goes for a good backstab. Obviously, Astra was engaged with the other player on that moment. There it is. Shazam goes down, but at the cost that Astra, like, obviously, goes down from the other side as well. And Sik is the criminal that just, steals it away at this moment. He's the criminal that steals it away. Now, this kind of understanding is where it just goes down. The game goes down to. So you can look at this. If you just look at this, this is where the understanding happens. The spikes dropped. The spikes there. It's all just going amidst chaos when the fights were happening. But still, Sentinels, like, they know that the momentum was in their favor. So it's rounds like these that gave you a proper understanding of the game. Alongside when this is happening, you can see obviously the ult will disappear, it will vanish, but the timer is still going on. The clock's ticking up. You see the spike, you would go for it, you would want to obviously just try and plant, or maybe just trying to go for something. But I don't know what happened, as from C side, Cypher starts moving B obviously at that moment. Well, that's obviously what they were deciding, as for maybe where the players are, maybe where the understanding is and everything. But now this is where Sentinel just played good. When someone says that any region is predictable, I would still say that it's not about predicting, but it's the fact that there's one thing that I would love to appreciate about this region, and that is they like to understand their opponents. And once they understand their opponents, they like to give out really good fights to them. That's the beauty of this region. That's the beauty of the understandings of this region, and they did it with ease. This Haven, it just started off in a really good haste. I'm not talking about the Icebox though, because Icebox had its own understanding. Icebox gave time for Sentinels to understand, to breathe through the team, to just, again, just focus on what good and bad they can take from the other team. And then they went towards a 2-0. And that too had a really hasty start. So that's the beauty of Sentinels. And let me know down in the comment section, how much do you believe in this one, that they are potentially, obviously they are looking really, really strong right now. Do you think there's going to be any stopping on this team? And how do you think plans are going to be for them into the future? And thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay indoors, stay awesome, and peace out, guys.